In the culture war, there are no winners, just podcasters. Only a few are willing to risk their lives in the face of some of the dumbest ideas to have ever captured human civilization. Every week, we, Meghan Dom and Sarah Hayter, humbly accept this mission in order to bring you conversations that are equal parts stunning, brave, and unhinged. Welcome to a special place in hell. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Meghan. It's early again. I don't like our new schedule.
Well, you think I like it? I'm 3 hours ahead of you.
Yeah.
Behind you, excuse me. I'm always behind you.
Right.
It's 7 a.m. for me.
Ugh.
But here we are. We've had a lot going on. So we're going to talk about the major political story, major news event of the week, which is our friend Coleman Hughes's TED Talk.
And the whole drama
saga
surrounding it. Yeah.
Debacle, travesty, incredible story. And after we do that, I think we should let people know we are going to explain a couple things that have been going on with the podcast behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
y'all have been complaining.
Confusion.
Yeah. Confusion and complaining. And I just want to say that it's not my fault.
It's not my fault either.
Okay. It's not
at least this.
It's not fault. It's not our
not our
this
fault.
Is not our fault. We didn't.
I know. My goal in life with pretty much anything is to have it not be my fault.
Yeah.
Like if I could get a ringtone, it would just ring and it would say, not your fault, not your fault, somebody else's fault. So yeah, it's been a big week in public intellectual news.
Mm-hmm. It has.
And
big thought leader news.
Yeah, big thought leader news. And actually, funnily enough, I just got back from a crazy conference. You might call it a thought leader conference.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say very much about it, but it was in Denver, and it was like this secret convention of extremely highly intelligent people, plus me.
Yeah,
and it was so overwhelming. It was like there were kind of tech company founders and extremely high level scientists and couple journalists, some biotech sorts of people, people who work in AI, and it was all off the record, and we were talking about different things. I don't know, there were probably about 40 of us, 40 or 50.
Wow.
And I'm not allowed to say who's there. No, it's not. It was big.
Very wow.
Yeah. And
did you sign anything like an NDA or what? Like why can't
you don't? But it's on the honor system. You are not.
What are they going to do if you said something?
Oh my God, they would never invite you back. This is the second time I've been.
But
and yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, I want to be invited back. Many friends of the pod were there. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we had different kind of discussions and breakout sessions. Not really breakout sessions, but there were larger group discussions and smaller ones. And
what's the big takeaway from all this?
AI is going to destroy us.
Okay,
that was one of the big takeaways.
We already knew that, though.
Also,
you don't need to go to that conference.
Well, I still don't understand AI. I'm more confused than ever,
and that's why it's going to destroy you.
Yeah. In the mornings, I didn't do this, but people did a cold plunge. That was one of the offerings. There were a lot of people there who were like they brought in they brought in these buckets of these giant tubs. In the hotel, and it's like 6 a.m. All the really high achievers would meet, and they would plunge into this ice water, extremely cold water, and try to stay in there for 3 minutes. And this is what people who are powerful do. This is how they remain in power. There were a lot of people there who were into maximum productivity, longevity. A couple of people there trying to live to 120, 130 thereabouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind the productivity bit.
You would like it.
Maximum productivity. I'm big on
that. There was a lot of talk about how to the productivity, like sort of how to multitask, how to, delegate your work, all meetings basically should take place while you're walking. Oh, okay. Like phone meetings or something like that. We should be doing this podcast while we're walking.
We could be on a treadmill.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm making it sound very self-helpy. It was extremely high level, a lot of stuff.
Okay, so wait, why were you there? Why
exactly.
There?
I don't know why I was there.
Okay.
Why weren't you there? I know.
Perplexed. I'm perplexed.
I know.
How do I get in?
I can nominate you. I think I should nominate you next time.
Okay.
And then we would be there together, and that would be weird. If I nominated you, then they might not let me come because I don't know. I would say that I definitely had the lowest IQ. Like possibly by 100 points or more. Just saying.
Probably not. Probably not.
It's possible.
It's possible.
All I'm saying is it's possible.
Anything's possible.
But it was incredibly, it was very fun and interesting. And when I went 2 years ago, I had no idea what to expect. And I thought about it all the time.
So do you feel like when you come out of conferences like that, I feel like those like exclusive kind of events, I feel very recharged when I leave them, especially if it's like, really interesting and smart and optimistic people. You feel really good coming out of it. Like, oh, we really can like solve the world's problems. Like with these guys on our side, we can do it. But this is now about AI doom. So are these smart, formerly optimistic people less optimistic now? What's going on?
The message was like, we can solve things, but we're going to have to get more people on deck. Okay. Like, it's possible, but it's going to be hard, and we need to marshal our resources better. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just about AI. We talked about all kinds of things.
Okay.
But you do realize, that there are people out there really just like incredibly smart, like smart in a way that you don't encounter every day. So it's a lot of like sort of quirky people, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
But it's very fun. And,
it's rare to meet a very smart person who isn't also kind of a weirdo that makes you feel a little uncomfortable in their presence. Yeah.
I know. Are there any like basic super smart people? Like, does anybody?
I have yet to meet. Well, no, I met a few. No, I should like.
Has a super high IQ person ever ordered a pumpkin spice latte?
I think they would be the ones to order it though, but in like a, in a way that we wouldn't even comprehend. In
an ironic
way. They would understand the meaning behind it.
Yeah. I know. Do you think that like Elon Musk's kids with their odd names have those names written on their Starbucks cups when they order them? Techno, Mechanicus, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
I don't think so. I met his kids. Some of them.
You did?
Yeah.
When? This last week?
At the debate. Yeah. And they were so cute. So cute. And, my baby wasn't with me. And it made me very sad to be around them because they were just being adorable.
Were they very, very talking about going to Mars? And they were like, Mommy, come on, let's go.
Saying much of anything.
I want to go to Mars.
Picking up things off the floor and eating them. So.
Oh, they ate stuff off the floor.
It's a toddler thing. It's what they do.
Elon Musk.
They're very good at it.
Eat stuff off the floor.
They all eat stuff off the floor. That's what they do. It's good for them, I think. But anyway, yeah, they were very, very cute.
Wow, that's exciting. You should have kidnapped one of them and then asked for a ransom. You would have you could have financed this entire podcast.
Meghan, you're filled with brilliant ideas. And this is why you got invited to that conference.
Because I'm an innovator.
Yes.
An innovator. Yeah. So anyway, and after that conference, we had an unspeakeasy one-day retreat in Denver, which was fantastic. It was too short. We've never done a one-day thing, but it was great. And there were about 15 of us, and we talked about all kinds of things off the record. So I can't tell you about that.
You keep going through these secret conversations.
Look, everything I do is in public. I do nothing but record podcast conversations in public. And so I don't get a little off the record
that I don't get to be a part of. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's plenty I get left out of from your life. But anyway, I get to have a little off the record time, I should say. Anyway, so that was fun. And I'm going to announce the 2024 retreats. I'm going to announce at least half of the 2024 retreats on Speakeasy in a week or so. So people can stay tuned for that. Anyway, so the big intellectual news is regarding our friend Coleman Hughes and his TED Talk, and a meltdown in TED Talk land, which I don't know why they didn't close the schools for that.
Do we have new things to say about it even? Because we've seen, this has happened before. This will happen again. It just happens to be that this time it's Coleman and Ted, and next time it'll be, some other heterodox type person who says something extremely anodyne and gets flamed for it for reasons that, no one can really understand. And then we play this game, this back and forth, which is what kind of it played out with Ted and Coleman. So Coleman published a piece in the Free Press, Barry Weiss's Free Press, about a week before this recording, September 26th. Why is Ted scared of color blindness? And he, in that piece, I would recommend that people go through it. He, talked about his experience, being asked to speak at TED, which was obviously like a huge moment for him in his career. He's a young, budding intellectual. That's a huge. It's a place of enormous exposure.
And this is where careers are made.
Right, and to some extent, it's like it's as if you can say, "All right, I'm a legitimate now." Now I'm not a crank. I'm not this no-name Substack writer spouting away. I have something.
Yes, it's very legitimizing. Well, right. Yes. It's talk about establishment. You've been anointed by the establishment.
Right. Precisely. And I think it opens a lot of doors too once you have a TED Talk under your belt. So he got invited to speak. He was excited. He prepared a talk on color blindness, which is up online if people want to listen in to what caused this whole drama, the whole place. And he's
talking about racial color blindness, not actual color blindness.
Right.
And this, we should also say this was last April. This was this past April.
When he gave the talk.
Yes. When he gave the talk. Right.
Yeah. At the yearly TED conference.
Yes. In Vancouver.
And he, he thought that the talk went well. People, appreciated it. And then afterwards, there were TED employees, right, who had some problems with it, and they voiced their problems a little bit.
So basically what happened, the talk went well. He said even a few people stood up and applauded. So we got a partial standing ovation. And it was overall extremely well received. So the day after the talk, Coleman hears from Chris Anderson, who's the head of TED. And Chris says that a group called Black at TED